Hi, this is Vince Lisi. I am the president of Prudential Ambassador Real Estate. I want to talk today about the state of the Omaha real estate economy. Home prices have stabilized over the last year. Last year in 2010 we had that tax credit which kind of created a high degree of interest and activity in sales in the first half of the year, and then it's like a faucet just shut off in the second half of the year. The market just dried out. The good thing about 2011, it's been much more stable. Home prices have stabilized. Sales have been much more consistent than they were in 2010. I see those all as good indicators. The July new pending sales in Omaha was down about 100 transactions from the June sales, so we have had a little slowdown in the market, but over the last week or two, when I look at activity of showings on properties that we have and activity in open houses, activity has picked up, so we feel that it should be fairly consistent through the balance of the year. Interest rates are one of the things driving the economy right now. 30-year mortgage is running around 4.25% interest, which is an extremely low interest rate, so that's one of the things that's making buyers get off of the sidelines and do things. So those are all positives. A couple things that I think are concerns right now in the marketplace is, one is there's been a couple reports that came out last week about consumer confidence. Consumer confidence is as low as it's been since the crash in 2008. Historically, when consumer confidence goes down, home sales slows down. So I think that the next 6 months are critical, and we're kind of in a watch and wait period to see how Congress and the Senate solves this debt and deficit thing, because the truth is that that has a huge effect on the overall economy and the real estate economy specifically. So if consumer confidence goes down, you would expect sales to go down. So they're handling this and making people feel good about it. I think it's critical to the success of the real estate market over the next couple of years. Another thing that I want to talk about that I think people need to understand is, I went and talked to the Douglas County assessors and his staff a couple of weeks ago and gave them an update of where I see the market at and where I see it going over the next 2 to 3 years. I don't believe that we're going to see appreciation in the home market between now and 2014. A couple reasons is, one is Omaha is very fortunate to have low unemployment, but one of the things that nobody really talks about is we have a lot of underemployment. We have a lot of people that were having $100,000 jobs that are making 60 or 70, that had $70,000 jobs that are making 40 or 50,000. And when you have underemployment, that doesn't create a vehicle for people to go out and move up and buy new houses. So underemployment is one of those things that we do need to deal with. I think much to people's surprise, the number of negative equity homes. One is short sales, where people still are living in that, but there's negative equity and banks making a decision to sell it. And two is foreclosures herself. Roger Morrissey at the Douglas County Assessor's Office ran a report after I met with his group a couple weeks ago for me. And year to date, at the end of July, of every sale that has taken place in Douglas County, 17.5% of those were foreclosure. So when you take the foreclosures and then you add in the short sales, approximately 30% of every sale that's being sold in Douglas County this year has a negative equity position where a bank's making a decision. In a normal market, home prices are going to go up 3 to 4% a year. So when you take that and then you add in the fact that we have all these negative equity situations where banks are making decisions, which puts downward pressures on prices, I think that's what's keeping prices kind of right where they're at. We're not seeing appreciation, we're not seeing depreciation, but until we flush through these foreclosures, which is going to take us another 2 to 3 years, I don't see home prices going up. So I think people that are saying, I'm going to wait till 2012 or 2013 to sell my house because home prices are going to come back up because the market's going to bounce back, I think that's incorrect. Even in Nebraska, here in Omaha, we have a large number of these properties that have negative equity in them. So I think we need to recognize that. The last thing I really want to talk about is addressed to sellers. If you're a seller and you have your home on the market right now, you really need to look at what the motivation is to get it sold. We have seasonal highs and lows in the real estate market in Omaha. When the holidays come, when the weather starts getting cold, November, December, January, the number of buyers in the market starts to shrink. Thus, if the motivation and your house on the market, and it's critical for you to get your house sold sooner than later, you really need to look at the price of it and make sure that it's price competitive, because we've only got a couple, 2-3 months left here of a fairly rapid market share where we have a large number of buyers in the marketplace. You need to look at the condition. You need to make sure that the property is updated. So talk to your agent and say, what things do we need to do to make sure that our house is as marketable as possible. But don't sit there and sit on the sidelines and kind of wait for the market to come to you, because you're chasing time right now, and you've got 2 to 3 months to really get that house sold. And if it's not sold that time, in all likelihood, you well may have it on the market still next spring. Thank you very much.